Hello boaters, welcome to Narrowboat Journeys. My name is Phil and I've lived aboard my narrowboat on the canal system for over 30 years. I share my home with my two cats, Bushka and Midge, and we spend our days travelling around the canal system and making videos. Today I'm at Snarestone and very close to the navigable end of the Ashby Canal. It's really not very far away. But before we get there, first we've got to go through the Snarestone Tunnel. If you look closely you can see the entrance to the tunnel just up ahead. Anyway, before we go any farther, let's have a look at the map. We start at the yellow marker at the bottom of the map and finish at the yellow marker at the top of the map. The red line is the tunnel, there's a pub in the village, and you'll notice near the end point there's the boaters' facilities and a winding hole to turn around. As you can see, there's plenty of visitor mooring along here. This is by far the best place to stop. Mooring on the other side of the tunnel is not good at all. The village pub is very close to the canal, just up the path there, and this tunnel is 250 yards long. You can see the other end of it quite clearly. You will need to have your headlight on, and you will need to check that there's no other boats coming through, because this is only wide enough for one boat to go through. You cannot pass another boat in the tunnel, so you do need to be careful about that. Just here on the right is where you would wait if you have to wait for another boat to come through. As you'll notice, this tunnel is very slightly crooked, and I'll show you the entire trip through in real time. When you go through a tunnel, you'll notice that it's usually much colder inside, quite nice on a hot day in fact. Also, though, they can be really quite wet. You get a lot of rainwater pouring down through the bricks above you, and you can't always see them coming. So you do need waterproof coats. This one is pretty dry though. Over on the right, just above the water, you may notice there's a chain, and it runs the entire length of the tunnel, and the purpose is if you fall in, you can maybe pull yourself along with that chain and get to the nearest exit. However, you do not want to fall in a tunnel, because you're very likely to get crushed by another boat. They may very well not be able to see you. Same goes for people in canoes, very dangerous in tunnels. Most tunnels have distance markers on the walls, especially the longer tunnels. But this being a short tunnel, it's got a halfway mark here which tells you you're right in the middle of the tunnel. If you fall in or you break down, well, you know that if we're in the middle of the tunnel, it's an equal distance either way to get to safety. On the other side of the tunnel was a nice sort of landing waiting area. Not the case on this side though, it's really very difficult to stop here. Well, we're nearly there now. On the other side here of Bridge 61, there's some limited visitor moorings, room for probably about 5 or 6 boats, so you may or may not be able to get a spot here. That's not going to be a problem at this time of year though. After the visitor moorings we've got a winding hole, very important, and just after that we've got the boaters facilities, and also the Ashby Canal Association have got a little shop there. I think a close-up map of the area might be useful. We're at the winding hole at the bottom left of the map, and the Elsan and Water Point are just ahead, and the rubbish bins are over on the other side of the canal across the little swing bridge. Just beyond the swing bridge, the canal has been restored for a short section, but unfortunately there's a problem with it at the moment, and that section is closed. I'm just going to stop here to use the boaters' facilities, then I'll be reversing, turning around and heading back the way I came. So, although the restored section of the canal is currently closed, I did walk along there on my way to the Measham car boot sale, and I did video that walk, so I'll show you that in a future video. Meanwhile, here are the facilities. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. The journey will of course continue. So until then, I'll see you next time.